Hi, my name is Megan Reaska, and I'm going to give a speech about discrimination towards individuals with disabilities. It is a known fact that discrimination towards individuals with disabilities has increased immensely in the past decade. According to Disabled World Towards Tomorrow, disability is defined as a condition or function judged to be significantly impaired relative to the usual standard of an individual or group. The term is used to refer to individual functioning, including physical impairment, sensory impairment, cognitive impairment, intellectual mental illness, and various types of chronic diseases. With this definition being so vague, there is a range of barriers for individuals that have any sort of impairment. These barriers include education, health, employment, housing, transportation, and any other basic services of everyday life. Having a disability now places an individual in the world's largest minority group. According to Human Rights Watch, nearly 1 billion individuals live with a disability worldwide. That concludes to roughly 15% of the world's population. CNN estimated that 57 million of those individuals live right here in the United States. But shockingly enough, that number is supposed to be higher. There are countless influential writers that have dealt with a disability their entire life. Easter Seals, Iowa stated that 99% of disabilities are invisible. Media has been especially influential when considering discrimination towards individuals with disabilities. Because the media represents the disabled the way they do, others' beliefs and perceptions are accommodated. In 1991, Paul Hunt identified 10 stereotypes that media uses to portray individuals with impairment. These stereotypes include the disabled person as pitiful, pathetic, or an object of curiosity or violence, sinister or evil, the super cripple as astrophic, laughable, his or own worst enemy, and a burden, as a non-sexual, and as being unable to participate in daily life. There are numerous examples where these stereotypes are proven to be true. Typically in films, they usually appear as monsters, criminals, or powerless and pathetic victims. In James Bond, his arch-rival Dr. No is known as the sinister or evil with his two false hands. Another example is plucky Kate stepping out into the new life. The word plucky is defined as brave or fearless. In this situation, the word is describing a girl who spent 2 years in a wheelchair. As this article reads, but the future is now looking brighter. Katie is learning to walk again following a year of straightening treatment. This quote is implying that she did not have a great life before, simply because she was disabled. It is suggested to the audience that everyone with a disability is miserable with their life. In this situation, she is suffering from her impairment. Most people do not realize this, but just because someone has an impairment does not mean they are exceptionally miserable and want pity from others. Some individuals with a disability find their impairment beautiful and self-defining in an honoring way. Over 60% of people with mental health problems say that stigma and discrimination they face is so bad that it's worse than symptoms of illness itself. Erica Camus, a 33-year-old university lecturer, deals with schizophrenia every day of her life. After her coworkers found out about her schizophrenia, she was fired from her job. Erica stated, I think part of the problem is that most people have experienced psychosis, find it hard to imagine what it's like. Most of us can relate to depression and anxiety, but a lot of us struggle to empathize with people affected by schizophrenia. Because majority of the world's population has never heard what schizophrenics hear every day, I'm going to play a short clip what they hear every day while trying to accomplish basic life tasks.
So stupid. Look at you. Stupid. Boys in the cars. Jump now. Jump in front of the car. Go on. Do it. No, don't. Don't cross the road. You can't. So stupid.
Now, imagine listening to those voices every second of your day. While you're doing homework, studying for finals, reading a book, listening to a loved one tell you a story, or something as simple as watching a movie. After I personally listened to those voices for nearly 50 minutes while trying to solve extremely simple puzzles, it became extremely difficult to focus on something so simple. Though we are unable to stop the voices or the video, schizophrenics are not. The issue with media and the movie screens is that nearly every time schizophrenia is portrayed, it is almost always linked to violence, though this is not the case. Schizophrenics are almost always withdrawn and prefer to be alone. Even though it is proven that violence is not a symptom of schizophrenia, the world still portrays them as violent and harmful towards others in the media. Globally, only 45 countries in the world have anti-discrimination laws. Here in the United States, we do have laws against discrimination, one being ADA, Americans with Disabilities Act. In July of 2015, the ADA celebrated their 25th anniversary. Individuals who have disabilities have to deal with disability for the rest of their lives, and for the media to discriminate on top of that is not humane. Individuals with impairments are deprived of their right to live independently, even though we, along with 44 other countries, have laws against these cruel acts and indications. The media still acts against them and strikes out towards the disabled.